Alrighty, welcome to the Wednesday episode of Over&Under podcast. It is yours truly, the Colorado Priest, and James. James, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm cool. I don't know if I like that name or not.
Hey, man, I gotta have faith in the boys. I'm praying for them every day, you know what I mean, to come through with the win. James, we got a lot to talk about today. First, I want to get into some news we got this afternoon. Quarterback from UNLV was promised $100,000, James. That's what they told him.
Oh, that's what it was?
Yeah, $100K. Said, hey, we got $100K for you. Come from Holy Cross. You're a graduate. Come from Holy Cross. Play for us. We'll give you $100K. Verbal agreement. There was no written contract, but a verbal agreement from the assistant coach. Today, quarterback from UNLV, he has a weird last name. Sluka. There we go. Sluka put out a statement today basically saying that the UNLV, the NIL money wasn't given to him. Whatever he was promised wasn't, the qualification wasn't met, and that he's going to basically redshirt this year and he's going to exit the school and basically save a year eligibility. A lot of controversy going on in the NCAA media with this. UNLV and UNLV's collective now came out and said there was never agreement for $100,000. The only agreement there was for a $3,000 location fee, and then his education was paid for. So we got a lot of stories going on. I want to know how you feel about it. If someone said, hey, James, I want you to come play quarterback for me, I think $100K.
Well, first off, UNLV is undefeated. They're 3-0. So the starting quarterback said, I don't care how good we are right now, pay me. And I don't know how I feel about that, just because that just gives like anybody the capability to just, opt out the season if the numbers ain't looking right for whatever NIL deal that they have. And that could look bad going forward, and just, kids not wanting to, play the rest of the season, or, redshirt for the rest of the season just because the numbers aren't what they want. And it could even be a parents' deal too. Side tangent real quick. I don't know if you know about the basketball player coming out of West Texas, Aaliyah Chavez. She's the number one player in the country coming out of high school, out of Lubbock. And she's saying, I'm not signing anywhere without getting $100 million from NIL. LSU pulled out, said, hey, y'all got it. And so that could be either the kid doing that, or it could be the parents behind her doing that stuff. Running back to UNLV, this could be like that same type of situation. Maybe the parents want some more money, or somebody came across the table from another team or something, like, hey, bro, y'all looking good. You look real good. Why don't you come to a better team next year, and we'll run you, $1 million or whatever it is. And he goes to the UNLV staff and say, hey, this is what I'm offered. I've only played 3 games. I can redshirt, or y'all can, match, whatever. And they're like, we ain't paying you that, bro. And he sits out. That's the same type of, what it could be, a same type of situation. I don't know. I don't know the kid. I don't know the whole situation going into it. He might have been promised something and they're just trying to cover their ass. But either way, it just gives the kid a lot of power over these schools and stuff if they don't want to give them that type of money, and they can just sit out, go somewhere else next year, and, move on.
And we won't spend too much on this because we got a lot to get to, but there's 3 ways that this could happen. 3, actually kind of 4, but 3 ways. First one is he was promised $100K. They were like, yeah, we're going to give it to you. And he never got the money. And he's been just a great athlete. He's been a great student. They started off 3-0. UNLV has never started. And they're going to be ranked. Right? Never.
Yeah.
So that coach's tenure, he's never had such a great team. On the other hand, maybe a school outside approached him like, hey, somebody who needs a quarterback, like, let's say Auburn or Oklahoma, like, hey, redshirt, And when you come here, we'll make sure, like, hey, I'll give you a signing bonus and I'll give you money. We'll make sure you got $1 million first day you come on campus, right? And then the third thing could be like he sees that he's such a great impact to the team that, hey, we started 3-0. Maybe I was only getting $3,000 in just the education, and they were just gonna pay me $3,000 every month. Now I want 100K. Like, I want 100K, and so now I go to them and demanding 100K, right? Or the fourth could be everybody's lying. I think everybody's lying. Maybe he's lying about like being 100K. Maybe, UNLV's lying about giving him only $3,000. Maybe there's something else to the story that we don't know, that no one's coming out and saying. But everything that happens in the dark will come to light. So we will keep a close attention to that story coming out. Also, no, you said 100K for Leah Chavez?
1 mil.
1 million or 100 million?
No, 1 mil. Just one.
Oh, okay, that's not bad. Yeah, this.
I think No, I get all that, but it's not looking good for her because it seems like her family's kind of like asking for that, not her. You know what I mean?
I got you. Okay, so we'll get off that. So we'll pay close attention to the UNLV and UNLV collective story with their quarterback. Sorry for UNLV, probably this season's done for. But James, I want to get to Friday night's game that's going on. It's going to be an ACC clash in the middle of the week. We have Virginia versus Miami. Virginia Tech versus Miami. I want to ask you, do you think Virginia Tech can threaten Miami? Now, this is a family battle. Cam Ward and Kyle Jones are cousins.
Oh, are they?
I don't know if anybody. Yeah, they're cousins. So, and also Cam Ward, Kyle Jones, and Shedeur Sanders all trained together this summer. So, as you can see, I guess two people got the goods and one person didn't, because Jones hasn't been well this summer. I mean, this fall.
I don't think Virginia Tech got to come out playing lights out, which they haven't been. So I'm not too worried about them playing Miami at all. I think Miami runs away with it. Like, okay, so I'm looking at his numbers right now. So the first game of the season, I think it was Vanderbilt. He threw for 322 and 2 touchdowns. And he threw a pick. And then the next game against Michigan. Yeah, that's Michigan. Wait, is that Michigan? Yeah, so he threw for 130, a touchdown, and no picks. And then the next game, Old Dominion, 176 yards. Rutgers, 137 yards. So it's like he's taking a downward trajectory and just, not looking as good throughout the season. And it has three interceptions throughout the year already. I don't know if it's just him not playing well or if it's just the team as a whole are just not locked in. Because, I mean, they have the weapons. He's a decent quarterback. I just feel like they're not showing up every week like they're supposed to. Like teams that they're supposed to be and not, struggle with, they're struggling with. So Virginia Tech was highly touted coming into the season and everything. So I just don't think they're really locked into the season to even contend with Miami or contend at all in the ACC, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think they'll contend in the ACC at all. Like you said, I don't think Miami runs away with this. Not only is Cam Ward probably performing, standing for the ACC and Miami, but the Miami defense were just like 2 takeaways a game, and Virginia Tech is good for at least 1. Right? So that's a good start to the game. And then Miami overall defense ranks 11th in the country. So, they got a pretty solid defense. Cam Ward is going to be Cam Ward, right? He's a veteran. He's one of the 50-year veteran guys that actually looks like a 50-year veteran guy, right? Yeah. He looks like he shouldn't be playing in college football. He should probably be getting developed in the NFL. He was like, I'll take the extra bag. I'll give a little bright spot to Miami, right? So, yeah, that's your trajectory for Jones. It has been going down, and I don't think this defense will have a problem with him. And to be honest, they gave up to Rutgers quarterback. Rutgers quarterback was 16 to 25, 269 yards, and averaged 10 yards per throw. So Don't think Virginia Tech is stopping anybody in the ACC, and probably just disappointing year for them going forward. However, we still, you got to come to my side of town. You got to come to Dallas. And as you saw, SMU last week, won the Battle of the Skillet, told them boys TCU, we run this city. We run Dallas and Fort Worth. But now, they got a Power 5 contender.
Okay, I'm going to just stop you right there already.
What you mean? Whoa. We got to put respect on history.
Okay. Are we talking about history, or are we talking about the team right now?
Well, okay, we're talking about both. So maybe not a Power 5, but that's what they used to be, okay? So one of my questions was, SMU is going to play Florida State. What is SMU's formula to win against FSU?
Just did what you did last week to TCU. Florida State has been struggling with every opponent they've played and skating by with their first win, like 13-9 or something. I see no different going into SMU than them struggling again and SMU blowing them out. I see it. I mean, what's his name? DJ? Abysmal. Florida State's D-line, defensive tackles, linebackers, the whole thing just abysmal. Offensive line, receivers, who we worry about on the outside? Nobody. SMU blows them out.
Okay, so look, I'm not taking Florida State side, okay? SMU has home field advantage, which that's already a given. Everyone's going to come out to see SMU play Florida State, right? Florida State hasn't won a road game all year, and they barely won one home game, right? The last road game that they played was Georgia Tech, and we know how that ended up in Ireland. For me, the formula for sure for SMU to beat Florida State is Jennings has to play a clean game, and must keep the ball safe. I kind of disagree with you. I think FSU's defense, Florida State's defense, has been improving. I'm not saying it's in final form, but it has been improving. You kind of see spark with some of the defensive ends like Payne and defensive tackles like Farmer, showing that they are that 5-star talent. However, I just think this SMU has too many weapons on the outside for this defense. RJ Maryland's going to probably have a great game, and then they're not a good running game with Rashard Smith. So, yeah, it may be a 55-21 game. You know what I mean? Not doing my prediction yet, but I see SMU definitely pulling out with this.
Yeah. Yep.
Now, James, I know you were a Texas fan back in the day, but G was. And, G saw a coach named Mac Brown, right? Mac Brown was at Texas, had good years, won a national championship. And then Mac Brown, left. It was his time. He paid his dues. And then he went to North Carolina. Now, last year, he had a fluke of a quarterback that everyone loved, Drake May, right? And our listeners, you can go back. I always knew that Drake May was a fluke, and he still is a fluke. But
bro hasn't even played, but okay.
North Carolina coming up this year, we knew they were going to have a solid running game with Hampton still in the backfield. There were some questions on the offensive line, and there was a big question about who would be the starting quarterback. The starting quarterback did get injured, and now we're on the second and third string. I just want to know, James, does Duke end the Mac Brown era? Because last week, James Madison went in Chapel Hill and bent them boys over and gave him a spanking. You feel me? I don't. And Mac Brown was in the locker room saying, like, you know what, guys, I might just go ahead and quit. Like, maybe I can't do this. And then after the game, he's like, oh, no, I was just having something a little emotional, but I'll be back to work Monday. Does Duke end Mac Brown era? Can they put Mac Brown's coaching to an end with this game?
I don't think it's to that point. Like he said, I think it's just an emotional thing. You're getting your ass whooped. You're an older gentleman, an older coach, and you're just seeing a team that's just not performing well, kind of like, probably get to you, but then he kind of just let that slip. It might have just been something he was trying to say in his head, but kind of let that slip. But I don't think Duke ends his time at North Carolina. I think Duke wins, but I think it'll be a closer game just because it's a rivalry. So I think it'll be a closer game. I think they'll clean it up than from what they did last week. But I still think Duke pulls it out, and I think Mac Brown will be around still.
I disagree, man. I think this is the dagger. I don't think you can keep a locker room happy or even motivated to compete. One, you got beat by James Madison, bro. You're your second and third string quarterback. Your coach comes in, says, I can't, guys, maybe I can't do this. I'm sorry. Well, I'll find somebody else to do this. Then at the end of the game, all these emotions and feelings are, fluctuating. So why not just go ahead and rip off the Band-Aid, right? Why not, go ahead and lose in probably one of the biggest rivalries in college football and in basketball, right? So you're gonna lose to Duke in in football. Malik Murphy's gonna come, Malik Murphy's gonna be in his home. He's probably gonna throw 3 touchdowns, maybe an interception, right? Yeah, I think this is the dagger, man. You're not winning. You're not winning non-conference games. You're getting spanked in non-conference games, and then the conference games you're getting completely embarrassed.
Are they going to get embarrassed though?
Yes.
They're not that bad. They had this fluke of a loss last week to James Madison. I'm not saying they're going to be winning a ton of games going forward, but I think they'll be competitive still. They still have Hamilton as a running back. So I think the offense just needs to run through him. And
I'll put 8 in the box. I put 8 in the box. I stopped
This is the ACC as well, so relax with 8 in the box. Who besides maybe Clemson or Louisville or something or Miami is gonna actually stop that with 8 in the box? Let's just be realistic.
Hey, I'm just saying, you're only one-dimensional if all you got is Hampton. I bet I'm gonna put man-to-man. But the thing is, how are you gonna stop me? How are you gonna stop Malik Murphy?
Like I said, they're gonna lose this game, but it's gonna be a closer game. It's gonna be competitive. Didn't say they were gonna win. It's just saying they're still gonna be competitive.
Okay. Well, we'll see how that goes. On my picks, we got to go over our picks too, because on our Friday episode, because I caught up, but then I didn't, right? So I'm kind of in the mix. I'm kind of in the mix here. So we'll go back over that. All right, so we're going to move forward, James. We're going to go to the Big 12, right? A lot of Big 12 matchups are coming up this week. One of the first ones we're going to start with is Kansas State versus Oklahoma State. Do you still believe in James? Do you still believe in Avery Johnson? And what is your outlook now of Kansas State since the beginning of the season and then where we are now?
Let's see. Avery Johnson, I think it'll be okay. Kansas State, I think will be okay. I think more it was just BYU might be just the real deal this year. And again, this is the Big 12, so I could say all that, and then BYU can go shit the bed this week for all I know. But as of right now, I think BYU just might be for real. And Kansas State is also still solid, but they just ran into a better team. Going into Oklahoma State, I lost my faith in Oklahoma State. What game was that? The second or third game of the season. I don't remember who it was. Whoever that shut down Ollie Gordon to like 12 yards or something like that. And that's when I kind of realized, like, okay, I shouldn't believe in y'all, because obviously this best running back Heisman candidate is getting just pushed to the side for like 15 yards or so, and you putting it all on Bowman to sling it, and Bowman is not a slinger. I mean, like this last game, he got benched. So
exactly.
So I don't have much faith in Oklahoma State. If Ollie Gordon's not going, then they're just one-dimensional. Once you stop him, they really don't do much. Even though they're like an air raid offense, they just don't have those type of players on the outside to actually spread the ball around. So Kansas State will win. And Oklahoma State, I think they'll just keep rolling down the hill and loss after loss. They'll maybe upset somebody down the line, but maybe 6-6 season, something like that.
I really hope the real Ollie Gordon please stand up. Like, I would really hope that he please can stand up and have a breakout game. Show me something. You won the Doak Walker Award last year, right? You were the best running back in the league last year, in the whole NCAA college football. Like, where are you? I mean, does your offensive line really fall off that hard that you can't, get more than 3 yards to carry? Right?
So before you get more into that, he's rushed for 100 yards now. The first game of the season. 49 against Arkansas, 41 against, who is this? Is this Texas State? TSA, I can't remember who that is. 41, and then 42 against Utah. So the last 3 games, he's rushed for 45 most of yards. And he's supposed to be this touted running back. Ollie Gordon, I knew from last year, was run all over the league. But anyway, continue. I just wanted to give you those numbers real quick.
Yeah, I just want him to have a breakout game. If he can have a breakout game, I think they can put up a battle. I still think Kansas State wins. I think Avery Johnson just had a bad game last week. I think the coaching staff has to understand that they need to use him more with his legs than his thing. They need to start scheming up stuff more to emphasize his running ability. So hopefully they can figure that out. But the real question is Garrett Rangel. That we're starting the Garrett Rangel era because Bowman is trash. Bowman is 27. He starts selling insurance probably because that's not going to work in the NFL either. So do we see the new quarterback, starting? Like, what is it going to be like? Is it going to be off sync? Like, are they going to be in sync? Maybe it's the spark that Oklahoma State needs. They need a new quarterback, So we'll see how that game goes, and we'll have our picks for that Friday. But yeah, man, it's gonna be weary down there in Stillwater.
What's it called? Oh, dang, he's not even on here right now. But is he benched, or did he just get benched for that game?
Nah, I think he's benched, bro. I think he's not played well these last couple of games. Now, I look at the reports that come out Thursday, because they usually put the reports out Thursday of who's, starting or whatever.
I'm looking at his numbers right now. I mean, he hasn't played super terrible. This last game he played bad. So, first game of the season, 24 for 25. I'm sorry, 25 for 34, 267, 3 TDs. Week 2, 27 to 48, 326, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Week 3, 24 to 31, 396, 5 touchdowns and an interception. And in this last game, 16 for 33, 206, 2 TDs and 2 interceptions. So, I mean,
those interceptions are what probably you can't keep giving the ball away in games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially you have no running game. You have no running game at all. So if you have no running game and we're going to basically rely on you on the passing game, you can't just keep giving away because I can't just hand it to somebody.
Yeah.
They're not who they are. Now, a theory that I do have is I think there was more to that DUI case. This is just an opinion, not a fact. But Ollie Gordon got a DUI over the offseason. I think maybe there could have been a little more than that. Maybe it wasn't just DUI. Maybe he's dealing with some things. You know what I mean? I'm not the one to start rumors. You know what I mean? But hey, I don't think you just become Doak Walker award winner and then you rush for 40 yards average the next year. So
I don't know. I think real quick before we leave off of it. After looking at his numbers right here, I think maybe he just got benched for that game. I guess we'll see going into Kansas State. And if Ollie Gordon finally get going, I think Bowman will be okay. Because like you said, once they get one-dimensional, he can't put the team on his back to slinging around because he turns the ball over too much. But if Ollie Gordon can sustain a running attack and get it going, then I think they'll be all right. But that's if they can, because Kansas State also been playing well, except for against BYU. So we shall see.
And to talk about BYU, they got to go to Waco this week. They got to go face the Baylor Bears, who had a absolutely devastating loss to Colorado last week. Can't hold on to the ball, can't cover the Hail Mary. And BYU was coming off actually a defensively masterclass against Kansas State. James, are we on the BYU bandwagon, or was just a fluke game that they had against Kansas State?
That's my thing. I don't know yet. I'm trying to find their numbers right now to see their last games, but I don't know if it was just, they just played really well against Kansas State, or if this team is actually for real. And I don't know. That's where I'm stuck at right now. And I mean, Baylor, they haven't been playing well either. They lost a close one against Colorado, and which they're basically leading the game the whole time. So I don't know. I'm looking at these numbers right now with what's his name, the quarterback for BYU. He's thrown for 348, 202, 291, and then 149 against Kansas State. So he didn't play like lights out against Kansas State, but he did enough for them to get over that hump. And then their defense actually took over as well. He also threw for 2 touchdowns. So that's why I'm just like, I don't know if I'm ready to buy in yet, just because of how he performed. He 149 yards, so maybe it wasn't.
So tell me,
but they are undefeated as well.
So tell me, I always use this formula. I'm gonna buy the stock of BYU, and I'll tell you why. If you got a pretty solid defense, right, and an okay quarterback, I can buy stock in you, right? Not only do they have not outstanding, but a good defense, they got a good special teams. Special teams win championships also. Special teams scores points. They can stop the run, right? They held Avery Johnson under 100 yards. So Baylor really didn't run well against Colorado. Their quarterback did, but as far as in between the tackles, Baylor didn't run well. BYU, yeah, they got to go to Waco. They don't have the home field advantage, but they didn't have the home field advantage also when they went to Kansas last week.
BYU.
Sorry, they did have the home field advantage. You're right. I'm tripping. My bad. So I guess this is a road test, right? They got to go to Waco. So yeah, I'm on the hype train. I'll go ahead and put my shots in. I'll put my chips in. I'm not going all in. You feel me? I put 20% of my chips in on BYU. This will be interesting to see because as you look at the Kansas State Oklahoma State game, we thought they would be ahead in the Big 12, but now you look at BYU, versus Waco. Waco already lost a conference game, and BYU's undefeated. So we could be in November talking about BYU being the top of the Big 12 and having that playoff spot, which is absolutely
BYU and Utah.
We're getting to that next. All right, let's go ahead and hop in.
Wait. I wasn't done yet. Hold on.
Go ahead, because I got something to say about Utah.
So I'm not like on top of the hype train yet. I think I still need to think. When we go do our picks later on down the week, I'll make a decision. But I think I need to think about it a few more days, just because of how he performed against Kansas State. I think their defense really carried them throughout most of that. And Baylor's offense can be, explosive at times. So if their defense does, show up again as they did against Kansas State, then yeah, I can see BYU edging it. But I can also see Baylor edging it as well. Again, this is the Big 12, so they just go into conference play and just beat each other up until somebody has just that one more win over somebody. So I think I'm not gonna say that yet until after this week. So I think it'll be a game. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. You have to think about that because BYU is in the back of your mind. I know that. But let's get on the frauds, right? Let's talk about the frauds for a second. Utah's a fraud. This is the battle of the frauds. You got Arizona, got to go to Utah, right? we already know Arizona's one-dimensional. It's Sophia, McMillan, that don't work, and ain't winning the game. All right? It's just how it goes. We already figured out Arizona a long time ago, right? James, where's Kim, Roger?
Is he hurt?
Yeah, that's what they say. He's hurt. They say he got a laceration on his head. But I mean, he was hurt last season. Got hurt the season before. My boy almost pushing 30, James. How much eligibility you got?
I feel like it's one of those. I don't know if you ever seen that show, Blue Mountain State, but I feel like it's one of those type of situations where he just want to stay, in school, live it up in college or whatever, and, ride the eligibility until the wheels fall off. And, I'll start for a little bit, but then, oh, damn, sore thumb. Oh, damn, my knee ain't working right today. Oh, damn, I got a headache, migraine. I think I might need need that medical rest shirt one more time. So, I don't know. It was just funny, bro. At some point, maybe you just need to hang it up. If you're getting injured this much, maybe football ain't for you anymore. Maybe your body's betraying you. Maybe you just need to go into finance or whatever your degree is and just call it cool. Because
scamming should be one.
Again, finance. I don't play it. I don't know what his deal is, but if he doesn't play like the rest of the season, or he's off and on or whatever, Utah doesn't really have a shot, just because everything is like really rushed.
I wouldn't say they don't have a shot. I said Wilson went into Oklahoma State, 17 for 29, 207 yards, a touchdown, 2 interceptions. That's the first. It's the first. I can give you 2 interceptions on your first start. Okay. You still got a good running game. Michael Bernard, 25 carries, 182 yards, compared to Ollie Gordon, who only had 11 carries last week, 42 yards. I still would emphasize that, Ollie Gordon, you are the worst. So, I still think they got a shot because they got a good defense. You can't run against their defense. I mean, this is how it goes, right? I mean, they held Ollie Gordon between...
Everybody's holding Ollie Gordon, bro. Don't give me that.
Hey, I mean, they went and played their rival quarterback, Bryson Barney, Utah. I mean, he had 2 interceptions. You know what I mean? 16 for 31 when they played him. Now, their running backs, Azon from Utah State, had 115 yards. So, if they can hold running backs to under 100 yards, I don't see why. I don't see why they can't be that.
I don't know. What's the rest of their schedule? Let me look at that.
Oh, the rest of the schedule, they got Arizona coming up. Then they got Arizona State,
TCU, Houston, BYU. Okay, when we get to BYU, we can talk about something. Oh, and also, okay, wait. Okay, so the last 4 games of the season, well, 3 games. I'm not counting Colorado. So.
Whoa! What's the disrespect? Can we get a little bit?
What did you just say about their defense?
I said their defense is pretty good, but they ain't faced Shador. Shador did. No, they didn't play last year. Okay,
yeah,
I'll give you that. We'll see.
So BYU, they got a good defense as well, and then we got Iowa State and UCF. Everybody's sleeping on them. So
I don't think everyone's sleeping on them.
I think they are. If everyone gets on the UCF train and see how good they really are, I don't know. I think Utah runs into a problem. But they also play Arizona State. That could be an upset. TCU is liable to throw for 8,000 yards in one game. They have one of those in them every season. Houston is having a super down year, so I'm not really terribly concerned about them. So it's up to Arizona and the last 3 games to really give them some type of like game competition and everything. And fuck it, Colorado could maybe easily be thrown into the running just because their offense can be super explosive at times as well. So there's going to be a test.
We gotta clip that. We gotta clip that for the people.
So there's going to be a test for Utah going forward on how good their defense really is with the rest of these Big 12 explosive offenses because any of these teams can go for like 600 yards and 500 yards passing at any given Saturday, to be honest. They might not be good for the rest of the year, but they can be good for that one game. So I'm not buying my stock into Utah running the table yet just because Cam Ward is just so spotty on playing. So we'll see what happens. Not Cam Ward, excuse me. Cam Rising. My bad. No shade to Cam Ward. My fault, dude.
Well, you threw shade. That's crazy.
My fault. My fault, Cam Ward. That's on me. You keep doing your thing at Miami.
So, we said our thoughts about Utah. Now, Arizona's coming off a bye week, right?
Yeah.
Arizona's look very underwhelming. Lose to Kansas State, which we've already seen Kansas State got spanked by BYU. They only scored a touchdown. Barely survived Northern Arizona. Gave up 39 points to New Mexico, right? But nobody could stop McMillan and Fafita. They had like 400 yards. McMillan had like 400 yards receiving. Coming off a bye week, right? Do you expect Fafita to find more targets than McMillan? Or you think this is just going to be Arizona's identity?
I want to believe that they figure something else out on offense coming off the bye. That's what I want to believe. But since these two have such a long history together, I just don't see how you just, change that up off of one bye. But if you've seen that you struggled against Northern Arizona, you get your ass handed to you to Kansas State. New Mexico drops 39 points on you, but luckily your offense is going. So I just don't know how they're going to, play this Utah team. If he spreads it out like he should be as a quarterback and not just focus on Buddy, your main target, yeah, cool, like get him his targets from here and there, but at the same time, you got to run the offense. And if they actually run the offense well, I think they can beat Utah, but that's if. Fafita loves throwing it to McMillan, so I don't know how you just change that off of one bye. So they just got to play a clean game and just play a whole game of team ball and get it to any receiver that's open and not just McMillan because he's going to be doubled regardless. So I still see Utah pulling it out, but I just hope Arizona can figure it out, actually beat Utah, but I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, me either. Kind of think Arizona got figured out pretty quick, and everyone's like, okay, you want to beat us? Make Conley. They Conley beat us, your running back. If he's so good, if your offensive line is decent, beat us up front. A lot of teams haven't beat Utah up front. They're pretty good up front, their front seven. Really, their front four was pretty good. So, yeah, man, I kind of agree with you. He's got to figure out, use more of his arsenal and just not his number one target. So that is it for the breakdown on the Big 12 games. But James, I know you got some hot topics. I know you got some questions. I've been waiting all week for them. Go ahead and put them fresh off the press. You feel me? Like some glazed donuts from Krispy Kreme, fresh off the line. All right. Let's go.
I don't know how much I even believe in this question, but they've been coming off a few wins. Do you think Texas Tech actually comes out and, just takes the Big 12?
Texas Tech?
Texas Tech.
So, okay, hear me out. Let's just say the ACU game doesn't happen, okay? Let's just say the Abilene Christian game doesn't happen, okay? They lose to Washington State. Washington State is a pretty good team. Okay, it just is what it is. They blow out North Texas, right? Okay, and then they win a good game against Arizona State, which we had high hopes for Arizona. Okay, we had high hopes for Arizona, and then they're gonna play Cincinnati this week. They play Arizona, then Baylor, then TCU, Iowa State, Colorado, Oklahoma State, West Virginia. I don't see any Utah on there. I don't see any UCF, right? and I don't see any Kansas State on that schedule. If Morton can keep slanging and Tahad Brooks can keep running 100 yards and make sure my parlays hit, I got a little faith. I got a little faith. I can put that in the prayer circle. You feel me? For Texas Tech to be in the contending to be in the Big 12. Now look, they still play Iowa State, and they play Colorado, but that'll probably be a shootout. And Texas Tech is known to win every shootout there is. And then they got to go play TCU and West Virginia. I don't think West Virginia will be anything to worry about. If they can win that Iowa State game and the Colorado and Oklahoma State game, I think you could see Texas Tech, maybe UCF, Big 12 championship game in Dallas, or Texas Tech versus Utah, Big 12 championship game. Yeah, man, I got some faith in them. I can see them. I can see them win.
All right. Just wondering because they haven't been playing bad. They just have a shit ton of injuries.
Exactly. So as the season goes on, you get more people back, more reps for the younger cats. You feel me? For the other people. So yeah, I can see them pulling off a little swindle. You feel me? Who knows? I need to get to a game down there. I need to go to Texas Tech game down there. We need to put the city on fire. You feel me?
I don't know what games they have left over here, to be honest. I haven't looked at it. Hold on. What the hell? Oh, there we go.
Cincinnati, they got Baylor on the 19th. Well, they got Colorado on the November 9th now.
Bro, that game, that game will sell out. That game will sell out.
I might sneak on the field. You know what I mean? But go ahead. We'll figure out the schedule later.
What was I going towards? Oh, yeah, the ACC. So we have that's undefeated. But we have a lot of teams that are undefeated in the ACC right now that haven't started conference play yet. So we have Duke, Miami, Pittsburgh, and Louisville, all undefeated in ACC. And we have a Stanford team that's not getting a lot of shine. Out of those teams, and let's go ahead and just cut out Miami because we all know how good Miami is. But out of these teams, Pittsburgh, Duke, Stanford, and Louisville, can any of these teams top Miami and take the ACC?
I think Louisville can. I think Louisville can. I think Louisville has the defense to contain Miami. And then I think they have the offense to test Miami's defense. So I think they can contain Miami's offense and then test Miami's defense. And when you get in a conference game, right, it's how the chips fall, you know what I mean? However, they do play Miami on October 19th. So we'll know more about that. But Stanford is sneaky. Stanford is a sneaky team, okay? And not a lot of people talk about some smart boys up there at Stanford. All right, the Cardinals. They lose a close one to TCU, their first game, right? So, beat Cal Poly, beat Syracuse. They beat my favorite quarterback this year, Kyle McCord, in a real nice fashion. But Ashton Daniels he's playing decent, right? They still have Ayo Maynard. That's his name. Ayo Maynard. I missed the whole name, but I like Ayo Maynard. I'm just calling EAO. EAO. That's on EAO. They still got him who should look even short coming in last year, so we gotta look out for Stanford because I think Stanford has a pretty favorable schedule. They do play Clemson this week, so if they can win that out, then they got Virginia Tech. Notre Dame is a tough, but I think Notre Dame can be beat. SMU, Wake Forest, NC State, Louisville, California, San Jose State. That last game, San Jose State, watch out for that one.
Okay.
But yeah, man, if I can look at the schedules, I think that Louisville probably has the better chance of meeting Miami in the ACC or Clemson in the ACC championship game if that was my pick.
Okay, I'm glad you see it. I see it with Stanford because them being in the ACC, they have no Oregon, Washington State, Washington teams to like shut them down. So I saw them. I was like, they might be sneak in there and might upset some people. And I feel like the coach came out and said something a few weeks ago that nobody's really paying attention to them or anything. And I was like, you damn right, because I completely forgot about Stanford.
Exactly.
But yeah, so I'm glad you seeing that too. But where's my other one at?
I still think Clemson's going to be Miami, though.
You don't think so?
I think Clemson's going to be Miami in the ACC championship game.
Oh, really? You think Clemson's like, okay.
Bravo. I didn't count out. Let me stop lying.
I was about to say. Let me go, Bravo. I'm about to say, I was like,
but I was over emotional. You feel me? I was hot because maybe I got caught up too much in the mainstream media with him not using transfer portal and everything. But ever since then, they've been kicking ass. They just can't play Georgia. They can't play teams that recruit better than them. Right?
I was just about to ask you about Clemson too. But never mind on that. You're speaking on it. So, Notre Dame, they lose that game to Northern Illinois and everything. And we said that they probably have to win out the rest of the season and not drop another game. Do you think Notre Dame runs the rest of the table the way they played the last game or so? Or do you think somebody, trips them up again?
If you look at Notre Dame's schedule, they barely scraped by Texas A&M. Texas A&M really didn't have a functional quarterback. Wegman wasn't really doing what he was supposed to do. They lose to Northern Illinois, right? And then they go play Purdue and Miami and Ohio. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, Notre Dame is back. They scored 66 points on Purdue. They scored 28 points on Miami of Ohio. They're back. But the thing is, James, tell me something. In the Notre Dame game, Riley Leonard on the 66-7 win against Purdue, 11 for 16, 112 yards, okay? That was Riley Leonard. And then you go to the Miami, Ohio game, 16 for 25, 154 yards. You don't have a quarterback that can pass the ball against inferior competition. Riley Leonard can't pass the ball. He can only run the ball. In the Miami game, Miami, Ohio game, he was 12 carries, 143 yards, right? In the Purdue game, before that, on his stats, he was 11 carries for 100 yards. That's your offense. When have you ever known for Notre Dame to be the quarterback to pass second and run first? He's prone to be hurt, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, be excited because you got not your ass beat, but you got beat by Illinois and Northern Illinois in your own home. And people are going to be talking about that, but gotta go play Louisville. Gotta play Stanford. Gotta play Georgia Tech. Gotta play Navy. Gotta play Florida State. Listen, probably won't have any trouble with that, but who knows? Virginia probably won't have any trouble. Army is sneaky. They're supposed to be maybe one of the teams that send the college team playoff. And then you gotta go play USC. And USC them beefed up. You feel me? Even though, Michigan kind of exposed them boys, they didn't give up. They didn't lay down like no, excuse my language, they didn't lay down like no bitch. You feel me? Mm-hmm. So Notre Dame's going to lose at least 2 or 3 more games. And then we get to start talking about Marcus Freeman going to coach Florida in the offseason. And then we start Marcus Freeman being who.
So you're saying that they don't, win out the rest of the season? This is what you're saying?
No, they don't. I see them going 8-4.
Because like you said, they play Louisville next week. Sneaky Stanford team, a sneaky Georgia team, an undefeated Navy who is a spread offense now all of a sudden. They're moving the ball. Florida State, whatever. Virginia, they're also 3-1. I don't think they started conference play yet. I could be wrong on that. Undefeated Army team that's gonna run the triple option till the cows come home.
Because
And like
God, you feel me?
run the hell out of that triple option. And then, of course, like you said, USC, which even in that Michigan game, they fought tooth and nail to come back. And I just don't think they have that type of defense like Michigan to hold USC to, 20 points, 14 points, or whatever. So, yeah, I agree with you that I don't see them winning out. I see them losing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games. I think they lose 5, maybe 6. I think they might beat Florida State, and that's it. Maybe Virginia too. I think they lose to Army, and I think they lose to Navy.
No, if they lose to Army and Navy, Marcus Freeman is done for, bro.
Because Army.
Illinois. But now you losing to the service academies, and listen, I respect to the troops. I never respect for y'all. But y'all known for keeping the country safe. You're not known for being college football, powerhouses. But it seems like y'all are changing that. And I that isn't good. That's good. That's important. Maybe with Navy and Army in the college football, you feel me, playoff conversation, it's good for the sport. Notre Dame losing to Navy and Army, it's bad for Notre Dame. Okay? Bad for Marcus Freeman. And listen, and just to give you a little tip, Deuce Brown is one of the highest recruiting quarterbacks coming out this year. They saying that Auburn flipped him from Notre Dame to Auburn. You already know Auburn needs a quarterback. So he's going to get playing time already.
Yes.
And Notre Dame has brought in 2 transfer quarterbacks the last 2 years, right? So it's not working. And you're bringing in bums. You brought in Riley Leonard. He was hurt. He didn't look well at Duke. He had a spark. He was hurt. You bring him back in, he's still hurt. He can't pass the ball. All he can do is run. What is Notre Dame? Where is the Notre Dame that I love? You know what I mean? That I grew up with.
Hell. What I was saying, Army and Navy are undefeated this year and are looking to make a push. So they could lose. I mean, Notre Dame could lose both these games to the military academies. Just because I don't know what they're doing at these academies this year that they actually playing football, but they're showing up this year, so they could lose both of these games. But I'll push my last few questions to the next episode, so we're running a little long for this one, but I'll leave it at that.
Nah, you ask one more. You guys one more. Do one more.
Okay. My fault. Let me pull them up again. I was going back to the Big 12. That's what it was. Back to the Big 12. So we were talking about the Big 12 and how Arizona and Arizona State were, we kind of like big on them going into the season, and also Kansas State and also Kansas. So what do you think happened to them in these last few games? Basically just fumble the bag and just not be as good as we thought they were.
I think you see that Kansas lost that spark of offense because their great offensive coordinator, Ando Kodolnicki, is at Penn State. That's why I think we're Kansas. And you relied on Jalen Daniels, not the one that plays for Washington, but the one that plays for Kansas, right? Last year he was hurt, had some back injuries. You lost Bean, right? So Bean graduated, and then you went all in on Jalen Daniels because he was coming back. He said he was coming back for his 5th or 6th year. You didn't really recruit well. You didn't go get a solid quarterback from the transfer portal. Mind you, a lot of teams didn't do that, and they're paying for it right now. So now you're stuck with Jalen Daniels. He turns over the ball. He doesn't have his offensive coordinator to scheme up things to help him out. And so that's one of the things I think exposed by Kansas. Now, Kansas State is kind of still a quarterback controversy, but you thought Avery Johnson was better than William Howard. That's what the thing is. You say, yeah, Avery Johnson is better than William Howard. We can let William Howard go. Same thing like Oklahoma. Oklahoma thought that Dylan Gabriel, that Sam not Sam, but Jackson Arnold was better than Dylan Gabriel. Yeah, we'll let Dylan Gabriel go. How's that working out for everybody? William Howard's doing well at Ohio State. You know, Dylan Gabriel's doing well in Oregon. So how does it work out for Kansas and Kansas State that they fumbled an evaluation on their quarterback room? One of the most important positions in football is your quarterback. That is your captain. That is the person that runs the offense. And then in Kansas, you got rid of his help and Andy Coleman. You got rid of him. And then Kansas State, you didn't have a backup. So that's what happened to me. So you can blame the coaching staff. You can kind of blame maybe the players not stepping up and being who they needed to be. I expected Jalen Daniels to be really good this year. I'm not gonna lie to you. I expected to see a lot from him. I know he had some back problems, but I thought that maybe during the season he had got it taken care of. But obviously I was wrong. And then Avery Johnson, just scheme up using his legs, man. Run the RPO, run the quarterback power odds, you know. Do something. Run outside the tackles. You know, give the ball more to Giddens. Tell your the Kansas State offensive line is a veteran offensive line. They can move people, but if you're not scheming and plans for the power of your offense, you're trying to make Avery Johnson into Michael Penix. It's not gonna work out. Never will. And you can see that when they went to BYU, got that ass beat at night. And all white.
Well, there you go. I'll say my last one for later on this week. It'll be just something we open up with. It's not a big one, so that's why I'm just like, we can push it to next week. I mean, to the next episode. So, anywho.
All right, man. Well, we appreciate y'all coming through. Have been having technical difficulties, but we got a whole new overlay that's coming for y'all. Y'all get to see us live, just not listening to us through a recording. So you get to see my pretty face and James. So I don't know how that goes. You know what I mean? But we appreciate y'all for listening to us. Follow the Instagram, follow the TikTok, follow the YouTube, like and subscribe, please. It helps us out. Leave a comment, leave a rating on how you like the podcast. And also, a couple of you have reached out to me on coming onto the podcast. If you still want to come on, give your, talk about your team or just talk about the sport in the whole, reach out to me or James on the Over and Under podcast Instagram. The link will be in the bio, in the podcast description. But yeah, that's all I got. James, you got anything for people?
Nope, that's it for us this week. Like always, thank you for always coming in, tapping in, and listening to us, checking into the YouTube and everything. So, just thank you. All
right, man. We will see y'all back Friday with our picks on our Friday show. As always, we thank you. It's Charles and James on the Over and Under podcast. Peace.